hustle on a mission, grinding for that spot, a brand new pot to piss in. Trying to school my partners, I don't think they pay attention. I'm sticking to my vision, on the road to the riches. Every single day, I'm a hustle on a mission. Trying to get 100 M's, nigga, I ain't kidding. I'm on a mission, 24/7, 365, until I reach the heavens.
Yo, what's good? I am Capital. Happy holidays. Happy Hustlers Holiday from the number one hustler himself, from Hustlers on a Mission every day. Home Inc. TV, Hustlers on a Mission every day. Sponsored by DividendsApparel.com. Whatever you do, make sure you do it capital and create a positive impact today and later. Them haters, get your paper straight like that. And never forget, real niggas do what they want to do. Bitch niggas do what they can. Hoe ass niggas gonna talk about it and fuck niggas gonna hate. Regardless. I promise you that shit. So do your shit to the motherfucking fullest, nigga. I don't give a fuck what they think, and you shouldn't either. But I can tell you one thing. These motherfuckers better give a fuck what we think about this motherfucking unredacted information. And now look, I'm gonna tell you right now. I haven't been live to give my reaction on a number of things that I've been seeing while I scroll on Instagram. I don't even pay attention to a lot of shit sometimes, just so I can have some shit to react to later on. Cause I've been working so much and shit. But Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate, Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all that, whatever. Happy Holidays from Hustlers on the Mission that day. You feel me? Home Meat TV. Happy Hustlers holiday. All right, now that that's out the way, we have unbelievable, huge news of unredacted leaks from the Epstein files. Now, I said this. I said this right. I remember saying this to some people on the game that had brought this subject up. We'll talk about it briefly while I was in the game. And I remember stating this because I've been dealing my whole life. I've been doing videos and photos, photo shoot, all that shit, dealing with Photoshop, all that shit. Different shit my whole life. So when I seen how they had it black dot and shit, I just knew. I knew it was gonna it was gonna be somebody, one of us meaning somebody within the world that was gonna be able to figure out and undo that bullshit that they did with no files. And lo and behold, I always wanted to say that. I heard somebody say it without even. And lo and behold, they used to always say that shit. I forgot who you were. Somebody used to be around. And lo and behold, they motherfucking figured it out, dog. And now we can see basically almost all of it because they just got wind of how to do it. So they going to work right now. I guarantee you by the end of Christmas Day today, they might have everything fully unredacted. So damn boy, this shit is getting wild too. Like in the pictures, oh my God, Bill Clinton, Chris Tucker had to give some statements. We all know Chris was out there. And if Chris was out there, I'm gonna tell you, Chris, that's one of the reasons he didn't do Friday too. He had then got out there with them people. It felt like he bigger than the hood. And he know Ice Cube wouldn't have approved of that bullshit. He like, man, if I'm out here, why is you like he must not be into this, so I'm not dealing with him. Now I will say some of the people that's coming out in pictures and shit, entertainers such as like Chris Rock, comedians and performers. I would say a lot of nigga performers was probably booked to do certain stuff, and they ain't had no clue what was going on over there. I say that. But after you've been booked and you figure out what's going on, do you still keep going? What's up? What's up, Floyd? Georgia? What's up with you? Do you still keep going? If you got booked to go, do you still keep going? If you still keep going, you making a conscious decision. Is the money that good? All money ain't good money. You feel me? But anyway, we gonna get into this uh reaction. R&R moment, get you some rest and relaxation. Happy holidays from the number one hustler. We creating a positive impact today and later. When I started doing reactions, I started off with the Miami Avengers. Shout out to Miami Avengers. We catching pedophiles and we don't support pedophilia in no type of way, shape, or form. Any of that fuck shit is frowned upon and it disgusts me to the fullest extent. So anything exposing these motherfuckers in any type of way, I'ma add fuel to as much fuel to the flames as I motherfucking can. Me just being smart, I'm gonna grow it as much as I can. Cause I ain't never like these fuck niggas ever. What did you steal for Christmas? I don't celebrate Christmas. Actually, it's a pagan holiday. That's why I say happy holidays, happy hustlers holiday. I don't even celebrate Christmas. What I did steal, I stole I stole a whole bunch of jackpots from the Hard Rock Casino. I stole a whole bunch of jackpots, so I came out almost about I want to say extra $1,000 richer. So yeah, but yeah, happy holidays to all you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be one of them guys just because I don't celebrate. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe what y'all believe. I know what this shit all about. It's all about brainwashing and keeping people down on the real for real. Like it's just keeping people distracted. So we gonna remind you niggas. We gonna keep you all into it right now. We gonna remind you about the shit that you should be concerned about. Your kids, your children, which is the future. You feel me? The future and well-being of where your children reside, which is the country and the shit that's going on in the country. You know, they're trying to get to a point where they could push the pedophilia narrative and and have the P's introduced to the other alphabets. But you know the LB, elemental P, all that shit. But we're gonna get to this right now. Let me pull this up. We're gonna get to this right now. See what they done unredacted under them black highlighted marks. Boy, this shit.
It's 5 a.m. I got a butt
We gonna
full
get
of poop,
into it
but
right
I
now.
cannot peel myself away from the computer to go
It
take
is
care of
5
that
now. It's
business.
5
I'm
a.m.
refusing nature's call. And it's not insomnia that's keeping me awake right now. We are in the middle of
I
what I
did no
believe to
time in
be
prison.
an actual big development here in the Epstein case. CoffeeZilla just made a video talking about this
I
as
did
well
no
as
time
giving
in prison.
instructions.
Before we go any further, I'm just gonna acknowledge some of these comments right here because look like some bullshit. Kick, what up? Kick, what up? Future Timo, nah, man. But shout out little cuz though. Shout out my little bit cousin, my big little cousin, Future. Shout out him. But no, actually, if you don't know anything about the system, when you go to prison, you can't really have. Well, you go to federal prison, you could grow your hair out and keep your shit. But when you go to prison, state prison, they cut your shit off. Which is why I have my hair so long, like it's coiled up right now. But actually, my hair is like past my waist. So how it's coiled up, it's a symbol of freedom and represents that for me because I never been up that road. God bless, thank you. It's a blessing because the system is created to keep intelligent, bright young brothers like myself in them chains of bondage and shit like that. Well, it's hard to bounce back. But you know, it's all good. You feel me? You could go on my Instagram, do it capital. You can see. You can go on my YouTube, Home Inc. TV. Go through the files, the history of Home Inc. TV. You can see I have my whole life. You'll see how long that bit done got. I keep it a certain length though. If I'd never cut my hair at all, my shit'll be like to my calves. Like, you feel me? So yeah, man. Yeah, little song. Oh, gotta get a little crispy cut. But let's get into these unredacted files, man. Let's go into these unredacted files. Shit. We gonna wake some people up.
On how you yourself can get your hands on this latest dump of documents that wasn't supposed to go out yet, but had been accessible to people savvy enough to get their hands on it, and now it's been disseminated. And these are some documents here that I imagine they were probably going to do a little bit more to hide some names and hide certain elements of, because boy howdy, I imagine Trump and a lot of the elites are doing this right now. Yeesh. There is some big stuff in here, and I'm not saying that sarcastically this time around. Yes, the vast majority is still like.
Now, when he said some big stuff in there, I was scrolling on Instagram. This is what got my attention about it. I was scrolling on Instagram. Mr. Hater, I forgot what his name is, but he be like hater. I'm hater of the week or some shit, whatever. But he brought up the shit where when they unredacted it now, how it said our president, your president, Donald J. Trump, repeatedly, repeatedly raped a 13-year-old and got her pregnant. 13-year-old had the baby out on a boat. They had her out on a boat. She had the baby on the boat, and they threw the baby overboard. They murdered the baby. This is in the files that they unredacted with your president Donald Trump name in it. You think I'm bullshitting?
Hundreds of pages of completely blacked out, redacted garbage. Like, it's completely useless. But
that's just one of the unredacted black lines in all.
Some of them that they didn't get a chance to go through and just, fucking vanish to the shadow realm, has eye-opening stuff that directly contradicts a narrative that the government's been running with for a while.
Here's what that looks like. It's volume 8 of the files, but you can see right now that they've only released 7 data sets. And so myself, the guys at Jmail, and the guys at DropSite, we've been investigating this. I've partnered with them to kind of look at some of these files, and they got access to volume 8 early. Funny. You would just type it in the URL. It wasn't like indexable on search, but you could just type in the specific URL and it would just come up. You could download the entire zip file, and that's what we did.
Before anyone tries to cry foul questioning the authenticity of these documents here, this is the actual volume 8. They just made it accessible by pure accident because everyone that seems to be working at the highest level is actually like a thumb-sucking fucking brain-dead moron.
Specifically, I want to draw your attention immediately to the 10
I just said incompetent. He took it a bit further.
That are mentioned in some of these emails in 2019. Now, this is just alarming stuff.
Hold on, man. That are
specifically
accessible by pure accident because everyone that seems to be working at the highest level is actually like a thumb-sucking fucking brain-dead moron.
In short, incompetent.
Specifically, I want to draw your attention immediately to the 10 co-conspirators that are mentioned in some of these emails in 2019. Now, this is just alarming stuff because prior to this, remember that all we really had was Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the only people who have ever faced any charges at all. Ghislaine Maxwell, the only one who actually faced consequences, right? But in 2019, apparently there were 10 co-conspirators Now, the people who were sending this to and from have been blacked out, but at the bottom, we see that this is the violent crime section, crimes against human trafficking unit.
That is huge information, especially when you consider clowns like Kash Patel saying that there's no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was trafficking victims to others or anything like that, making it seem like it was a solo operation and Ghislaine Maxwell, was second fiddle and that's it. And also Maxwell, worth remembering, isn't exactly facing the harshest of punishment. Not real justice there now that she's at a summer camp prison for a little bit, petting service animals. So, I want to also make a side note. Kash Patel needs to be in jail. Like, he literally needs to be arrested. I don't know why perjury isn't something that's taken seriously anymore. There is irrefutable evidence Kash Patel has lied on record about this case. It's crazy that he just gets to do that with pure
Welcome to the lit house. Whatever you do, make sure you keep the light within you shining bright. You feel me?
immunity. But I won't start shitting and spitting
Fuck that shade. Get paid. That's every single day.
about that too hard right now. The important thing about this piece that CompuZilla is highlighting is that we now have information that confirms that authorities were looking into other co-conspirators in this operation. Co-conspirators that clearly they must have dropped the leads at some point. They stopped sniffing around, said not worth pursuing. But at one point, they did have other co-conspirators and apparently quite a bit of information on them, as the documents seem to hint at and reveal and talk around. So what the fuck happened, and why are they now pretending that there aren't co-conspirators when we now have hard proof that there was and that they were pursuing for however brief a time?
And additionally, some of the details on this are revealed later because we see this subject line. It says co-conspirators at the top. And it says, blank does not need to head out. We made contact with blank last night in New York City. Blank last night in New York. Contact was made with blank, blank, and blank. By the way, I love how these potential co-conspirators are people who are being blacked out. Like, why? I
On Yeah, we back on. I had a little technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. We back though. Let's get it.
Know why perjury isn't something that's taken seriously anymore. There is irrefutable evidence Kash Patel has lied on record about this case. It's crazy that he just gets to do that with pure immunity. But I won't start shitting and spitting about that too hard right now. The important thing about this piece that CoffeeZilla is highlighting is that we now have information that confirms that authorities were looking into other co-conspirators in this operation. Co-conspirators that clearly they must have dropped the leads at some point. They stopped sniffing around, said not worth pursuing. But at one point, they did have other co-conspirators and apparently quite a bit of information on them, as the documents seem to hint at and reveal and talk around. So what the fuck happened, and why are they now pretending that there aren't co-conspirators when we now have hard proof that there was and that they were pursuing for however brief a time?
And additionally, some of the details on this are revealed later because we see this subject line. It says co-conspirators at the top. And it says, blank does not need to head out. We made contact with blank last night in New York City. Blank last night in New York. Contact was made with blank, blank, and blank. By the way, I love how these potential co-conspirators are people who are being blacked out. Like, why? I thought the whole point of this was you couldn't redact people for personal information reasons or for public embarrassment. You could only redact on the basis of it being a victim. And I'm not sure how these people could possibly be victims here.
Epstein Files Transparency Act prohibits redactions, quote, on the basis of embarrassment, reputational harm, or political sensitivity. Has anything been redacted on that basis?
Absolutely, positively not.
Liar, liar, plants for hire. His nose about to grow fucking 5 feet with that big old fib. This is inarguable that they are redacting names of people that aren't victims here. As CoffeeZilla points out, these are co-conspirators. The evidence is overwhelming. There's no wiggle room here, no way to weasel out some kind of explanation for why these would be justifiably censored and blacked out and redacted. These are clearly not victims. This is about the co-conspirators. So there should be no exceptions made. Their names should be revealed here in these documents, but they're not. It's been redacted.
Facts.
Why? Who are they covering up for? And why? This is illegal. You cannot.
But they are part of that shit. They are part of the agenda to push that bullshit. I'm disgusted.
Do that. And this is inarguably them redacting names of people that are not victims. It's craziness, and it's so blatant. It's right in your face. Like, the proof is in the pudding, and yet I know people are going to deny it still. It's fucking unhinged. There is no world where you can spin a narrative here where these redactions in these places make sense, because there's no way that what they're talking about right there can possibly be minors or victims. These are co-conspirators that are being protected. That's fucking insanity.
But anyways, you can see.
And the reason that they're being protected is because there are people in positions of power in a high place within the government. A lot of them. As you can see, the main person they was concerned about trying to redact the majority of their shit is the fucking president, nigga. And then some of the first photos that come out, they want to bring out of one of the first nigga favorite presidents before Obama, Bill Clinton. They brought out Bill Clinton first. Of course, nigga. You know Bill had them hoes, man. You know Bill had problem fucking with them hoes, man. Bill lad about to die. Bill lad about to die. You think give a fuck, man? Bill lad for the they done got the pictures. All right, let me goddamn. That ain't gonna fake his death. He ain't gonna be dead all the way. He just gonna fake his death, get the fuck on.
See that it says attempts were made to blank and Brunel. That's Jean-Luc Brunel, the famous who's now dead. Blank is
fucked up, bro. It's fucked up. Even though motherfuckers bringing all this shit out, I want to see I just can't wait to see how the courts and the judges in the court spin this shit. A lot of them judges is in that bitch too. We not gonna motherfucking. I bet you it's a couple judges in that motherfucker. I bet you, man. It's so. I bet all of. I bet it's so many motherfuckers.
Confirmed to live in New York, was away for the holiday weekend. We did not have a good address, but an attempt was made in New York. Attempts are made to Maxwell today. Blank. You get it. Like, it's all the people they suspected this whole time are redacted, of course. And then they say, I do not know about Ohio contacting Wexner. Now, that's a reference to Les Wexner, the former CEO of Victoria's Secret. This is huge. We've long suspected that he was, of course, one of the co-conspirators. And obviously, the fact the FBI suspected it isn't a 100% proof confirmation. But clearly, they were serving grand jury subpoenas. I mean, that must be who they're talking about, one wealthy businessman in Ohio, because later it's confirmed by this whole idea of Ohio contacting Wexner.
Even though most of the names are redacted, it's not all of them. So Wexner's name appears here, as well as Brunel, but as CoffeeZilla mentioned, he's dead. He's already burning in hell right now. But Wexner, this was someone that they grand jury subpoenaed, seemingly, and I don't think I've heard a peep about any kind of consequences or justice being served over there, or any kind of like pursuit on analyzing his connections here to all this, even though he is here in one of the emails here about being a co-conspirator. What happened there? The well ran dry or something? Like, it turns out he was completely innocent? That's
No, bitch. You know why? I think you have a great understanding of why, sir. Just like all of us do. It's all about how many of us care enough to do something about it. Like physically make motherfuckers do something about it. There was a comment earlier on my stream said Rodney King deserved that shit. I see it right here. Said Rodney King really deserved the beating he got. He should never have disobeyed those officers. The world full of racist motherfuckers. I see why Castanet didn't want to come to motherfucking kick. Out of all the platforms I done been on, out of all the platforms I go live on, just a couple hundred people come through and shit like that. This the only platform I ever received a racist comment on. Kick is the only platform I ever received racist comments on. It's fucked up. That's wild, right? And
seems
they
kind of
started
hard
off
to believe.
like,
That'd be a surprising, shocking twist, more so than a fucking Darman video. I don't know about that. That seems a little fishy. And again, why are other names here blacked out? Why are co-conspirators being protected? Why aren't their identities being
those names blacked out somewhat for some of the same kind of the similar reasons that these fake ass people on the internet don't be showing their face on these pages that they be talking that bullshit on, don't be having their real name or their information, like no one saying what they really go by, or no followers and no shit, like they just have blank pages because they pussy, they scared of the consequences of their actions and shit like that. You feel me? A lot of that shit. It's not all of those reasons, but a lot of those similar reasons. It all boils down to being pussified.
revealed?
Our
Food for thought.
shit.
And you can see at the bottom, this is from the FBI New York. When you get a chance, give me an update on the status of the 10 co-conspirators. This is really bad to know that we knew as early as 2019 the right people to target, and yet our FBI, who's had evidence of this the entire time or leads on it, has declined to prosecute, right? Because this is what the FBI now tells us. Oh, don't bother. Don't worry about it. That's what they wanted us to believe in July. Fast forward to December, we find out there's 10 guys that they knew about since like 6 years ago. You know, it's insane. The 10 co-conspirators. This is really bad to know that we knew as early as 2019 the right people to target, and yet our FBI, who's had evidence of this the entire time or leads on it, has declined to prosecute, right? Because this is what the FBI now tells us. Oh, don't bother. Don't worry about it. That's what they wanted us to believe in July. Fast forward to December, we find out there's 10 guys that they knew about since like 6 years ago.
Because the FBI is the government in which the bosses of the FBI are involved, so they shutting it down completely. Think about it, bro. If I'm the CEO of, if I'm the CEO of, if I'm Jeff Bezos, if I'm Jeff Bezos, right? I own Amazon. And I'm involved in some shit. But my company controls everything with the investigation of whatever. I'm head nigga in charge. So all decisions about going after specific individuals is it's off limits. Like it's a list of certain niggas you untouch. Don't touch none of these niggas. And I'm one of these niggas on the list. I'm gonna head of the investigation. Oh, guess what? I will close this business. I will close this goddamn business right now. That's exactly what it is, bro. It's a nigga at the top of all that shit. Like, man, I will shut this whole shit down right now, bitch. Y'all know that's untouchable. I understand, yeah, I got it. Like what he just said. What he
Yeah, it's
just said.
live. Because this is what the FBI now tells us. Oh, don't bother. Don't worry
bother.
about it. That's
Don't
what they
worry
wanted
about
us to
it.
believe in July. Fast forward to
Don't bother. Don't worry about it.
December, we find out there's 10 guys that they knew about since like 6 years ago. Yeah, it's insane.
It is insane because their position has been like, oh, there was nothing actionable in there. So, stop asking us. Just pipe down. We're busy covering shit up. Stop asking questions has basically been the philosophy. Our hands are tied. There was nothing. It's all a hoax. Actually, no, the files are on Pam Bondi's desk. No, the files don't exist. It's all a hoax. Wait, actually, here's a ton of fucking files. Nothing's actionable, though. And according to Kash Patel, it was just Jeffrey Epstein. Nobody else. It doesn't go deeper than that. That's it. Case closed. It's a fucking mess. It's a complete circus. And now that we have this kind of information out there, it's even more sickening to know that they are just blatantly protecting these pedophiles, these evil, evil people that engaged in unthinkably heinous actions. They are still getting away with it. And they know and have known since 2019, apparently, that there are others out there still at large and are just not doing anything about it and would instead rather lie saying, oh, there's nothing actionable or anything. Yeah, there was really nothing in there at all. In fact, it was all make-believe. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein was never real in the first place. Jeffrey Epstein was the friends made along the way. What are you guys talking about? It's so absurd. It is downright diabolical. The corruption is so blatant. It is right in your face. And even when we are getting drip-fed the tiniest...
Diabolical ain't the word. The word is a couple other synonyms that fits this shit. Fiendish is one of them. Downright fiendish. And what was the other word? It slips my mind. It's like right there, but
tiddlywinks of information.
Diabolical ain't the word for this bullshit.
About this case that have been heavily redacted, mind you. We are still seeing just how depraved this is. There is so much evidence that they can't even sweep it all under the rug. We are still finding just how bad this is. Now, just imagine what they're keeping from you and covering up and what they've already probably burned and fucking snapped out of existence. And imagine if they actually did follow the rules here and only redact victim information. Just imagine how many people we could point to as blatantly corrupt and needing to be thrown in jail. For the last 6 years, having this kind of information and not acting on it. And to this day, having so many people in the highest levels of government denying its existence and trying to pretend that it's all fucking phony baloney, make-believe, dirty barnacles, horseradish, it's a hoax, it's not real, that kind of thing. Can you imagine if this information did actually properly release with only victims' information redacted?
Even over here, we see that in one of the lawsuits, I believe this is with Maxwell, the government actually wanted to refer to people at trial as co-conspirators of the defendant, aka Maxwell, for the purposes of a rule. And then they say Jeffrey Epstein, and then there are two names listed there who are going to be listed as co-conspirators. Again, who are those people? We were told that the only co-conspirator now is Maxwell, and if you don't believe that, you're crazy, you're a conspiracy theorist. But back in 2020, this was an idea not just promulgated by wackos, it was promulgated by who? The FBI themselves, the Department of Justice. Look at this. Co-conspirator question transcript. This is from USA NYS. They say, question, when Jeffrey Epstein died, a lot of people asked, who's next? Is the government going to hold people who are accused of helping him recruit these girls? Are they going to hold them accountable? And then the answer is, well, I'll note that the original charges against Jeffrey Epstein contained a conspiracy charge, and we allege that there were conspirators involved. Jeffrey Epstein couldn't have done what he did without the assistance of others. And I can assure you that our investigation is moving forward, except I guess not.
Yeah, that investigation hit a brick wall. That investigation went off the tracks and fell into a fucking nitroglycerin facility and just blew up because that shit has not been pursued clearly. As CoffeeZilla mentioned, this idea of there being more than just Epstein and Maxwell, the highest level of authority has been saying, you're crazy if you believe that. You are falling for, nonsense fairy tale garbage. But even the FBI years ago was saying the same things internally here, and even agreeing that it couldn't have been done alone. They were even moving to call other people associated with this co-conspirators, information redacted on those names there, but they knew certain individuals to target for this that they were going to be looking into with the investigation and assuring them that the investigation is moving forward on these co-conspirators, and then it doesn't. Why did it magically stop? What happened? What changed? And why, if all this information is still at the government's fingertips, do they continue to lie and pretend as though it doesn't exist and that there's nothing here at all that the public didn't already know? They've already given out justice by sending Maxwell to a summer camp. That's all they can do. That's the only power they can muster here.
You think you're fine after a car accident until this happens. Most people don't realize that even accidents that seem minor can financially.
What's even more concerning is our president also seems concerned with the wrong people.
The victims were protesting that too many of them were redacted.
I know there are a lot of people that are angry about all of the pictures of other people, but I think it's terrible. Look, I like Bill Clinton. I've always gotten along with Bill Clinton. I've been nice to him. He's been nice to me. We've always gotten along. Respect him. I hate to see photos come out of him, but this is what the Democrats, mostly Democrats, and a couple of bad Republicans are asking for. So they're giving their photos of me too. Everybody was friendly with this guy. I think it's a terrible thing. I think Bill Clinton's a big boy. He can handle it. But you probably have pictures being exposed of other people that innocently met Jeffrey Epstein years ago, many years ago.
What an interesting perspective. That is a fascinating thing for him to harp on so much about, we got to think about all the innocent people that met with Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we should be focusing on, and how damaging and how traumatizing this must be for them, those innocent people that hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, all the lawyers and bankers and all of them. Heart breaks for them. Bill Clinton, I can't believe he got wrapped up in this. Love that guy. This is a crazy set of circumstances. He's a big boy, though. Side note, Bill Clinton apparently just put out a statement this afternoon saying release the entirety of the files. So Bill Clinton's like, just do it, pussy. That was a crazy plot twist I certainly didn't expect, because I can't imagine a world where Bill Clinton isn't also wrapped up in this shit.
Listen, I just said this shit, bro. Bill Clinton don't give a fuck. He's like, bro, put that shit out. I don't give a fuck. Do what you gonna do, bitch. I had grown bitch. I was at a Playboy Mansion with Hugh Hefner too, bitch. Release them bitches. Them bitches just turned 18, 19, bitch. Wasn't a bitch under 25 at the Playboy Mansion, bitch. It was a bitch. I'm telling you, it wasn't a bitch under 25 at the Playboy Mansion. At 25, the bitches had to go. Hugh Hefner had a big ass mansion. Used to move hoes. They was good. They look good. They 18. Come on, you could stay here till you 25. Get your shit together. You got 7 years. You have to take bitches in, man. You have to have a motherfucking homeless shelter for the hoes, man. Taking hoes in, man. 18, 25. 25, you got 7 years. Get your shit together, bitch. Get the fuck up out. You gotta get the fuck on at 25. Hey.
I think that guy is beyond guilty. I bet he had a whole fucking lodge named after him on Epstein's Island. I find it hard to believe that somehow he'd walk out of this squeaky clean. Sounds like mutually assured destruction here, and Bill Clinton's just throwing his meat on the table, challenging him to do so. And I guess we'll see how it all shakes out from there. the thing is that CoffeeZilla is pointing out, Trump's focus is more about like, there's innocent people here. We have to keep in mind, think of the innocent multi-millionaire and billionaires that didn't know Jeffrey Epstein for all the bad stuff. They just knew him for cracking jokes and stuff, and just being a guy, just being one of the dudes. Like, why is that what you're focusing on? Why wouldn't you instead be focusing on trying to catch all of the people that have just completely been swept under the rug? Why would that not be the focus? Why instead would you be pretending none of this is real? It's all a hoax. That's very peculiar. I think that's pretty concerning. And when you do have an opportunity to release the files, why are they so heavily redacted with hundreds and hundreds of pages completely blacked out? That looks very guilty. That looks like a really big admission of guilt.
I'll be honest, he gets off track from here, but the point he was making is that those poor, innocent, bankers who were meeting with Epstein, the poor lawyers who were meeting with Epstein, like all of Epstein's friends are just caught up in this unfortunate thing. And it's just such a reversal of what previously the DOJ and FBI believed. In fact, they believed it so much that they got a federal search warrant for the SDNY, and they got it. And part of the seizable data, part of the stuff that they commanded them to seize as part of the search warrant, and part of it says evidence concerning the identity or location of co-conspirators of Jeffrey Epstein, including blank and Ghislaine Maxwell. So again, who is blank? Well, they keep redacting the names of these co-conspirators uncharged, remember, and now they're saying we have no evidence to charge anybody. Clearly, they had evidence for a search warrant, and it's just completely ridiculous that some of the stuff is redacted and that we're viewing the rich and powerful people who are mentioned as the victims here.
Once again, just further evidence that they are indeed scrubbing the name of co-conspirators. These are not victims or minors that they are taking the names out of here. Thus, they are breaking the rules of how this is supposed to go. It is.
And it looks like it should be a RICO. Based on the bullshit that they did it, bitch, this shit need to be wrapping, this shit need to be roping up 200 niggas. 1,000 motherfuckers need to be wrapped up in 1,000 bitches wrapped up in this RICO that they didn't do a RICO on. They like, man, it's too many people to wrap up this RICO, man. Get to work, bitch. Get to work. All this fuck shit y'all doing in the streets, fucking with my people and shit. Bitch, get to work. Get the fucking work. Clean up your own fucking front porch, bitch. Sweep around your own goddamn front door first before you goddamn fuck around in my hood and shit with this
blatant, this cover-up. There is no world where that is somehow a victim there, yet their name has been redacted. Why? Why are they hiding the co-conspirators' identities? It's fucking outrageous. And people should be very...
Probably some of the same reason they've been out here goddamn framing niggas for bullshit that they ain't even did.
Mad about this. But I have no doubt, again, it's 5 a.m. right now, so I haven't seen like the full response to all of this now being out there, but I know there's going to be people that are butt chugging the Kool-Aid to such an unbelievable degree that the delusion has fully taken hold that they're going to go through these mental gymnastics to explain why actually there's nothing fishy going on here. This is totally normal. They did everything by the book and you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Clearly the most transparent administration in American history at work here, obviously. Which just, again, you have so much evidence to prove that this is not by the book here. This is indeed a co-conspirator's name and many other examples of co-conspirators' names being redacted. Not victims, not minors. Unless they're trying to say that these names here are victims, these people that are potentially co-conspirators of Epstein, they're also victims. And in that case, you need to be institutionalized ASAP if that's what you think. That is a fucking crazy take. But I guess it's not the most outrageous thing to picture someone believing when you have someone like Trump who continues to just drive that point home, where it seems like he's not even really focused on the actual victims of Epstein and all of his clients. He's instead more focused on like, oh, the innocent guys, we used to just go watch the ball game together with Jeffrey Epstein. They had no idea, and my heart breaks for them. Oh, Bill Clinton playing his song on my world's smallest violin. Like, he's just constantly bringing up, like, oh, so many innocent people. They're getting wrapped up in all this Epstein hoopla. I can't believe we're still talking about it. You're a bad person if you're talking about it, which is something he did say, by the way, not too long ago. I highly recommend you go check out the rest of CoffeeZilla's video. He also gives you the tutorial on how you can get your hands on these files as well to check them all for yourself. Now, after combing through them, there were some other big eyebrow-raising moments. One of them, CoffeeZilla also tweeted out. This is from a U.S. attorney who wrote in 2020, Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported or that we were aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in a Maxwell case. And then it concludes with, on 2 other flights, 2 of the passengers, respectively, were women who would be possible witnesses in a Maxwell case. We've just finished reviewing the full records, more than 100 pages of very small script, and didn't want any of this to be a surprise down the road. I noticed Trump's name in quite a few documents in this most recent volume. This has been one that is obviously pretty interesting because it's talking about his frequent flyer miles that he was accumulating with old Epstein Airlines, about how he had flown on the airlines far more than they had thought at the time. Now, whether that's before or after all the flight logs, which does show Trump flying on the planes quite a bit, I don't know. Maybe there's more that weren't on the flight logs. I'm not sure. Again, all of this is still brand new. And I guess as more gets combed through, we'll get more and more information. But like I said, I have been glued to this for hours now. And I really just wanted to yap about it because there is some crazy shit in here. This is finally, for the first time in a long time, big new information in regard to this case and people involved in it, and exposing a blatant cover-up of very important information from these files. Now, it's very late in the evening, and all of this is still very fresh. I have no doubt there will be a lot more that comes from this, so I'm just going to try and keep my finger on the pulse of it. I already have no doubt there will be a large number of people that will plug their ears to it and downplay the significance. I already saw a crazy tweet from some psychopath named Mila. I have no idea who this troglodyte is, but they are now already singing a different tune about why does anyone care about the Epstein files, which is something that was previously tried. Now, in the wake of all of this, it's being dusted off to try again. I truly hope there won't come a time where people start to say that this isn't a big deal, that this isn't something people should care about. This is a massive deal, and everyone should care about this because it implicates the people that control your life, the people in the highest level of power in this country that are actively making decisions on your life and how everything unfolds in this country. And if the people that are in these positions are these evil pedophiles that have been getting away with these crimes, then there's a huge problem there. They need to be held accountable.
Facts. They need to be held accountable, and it is a huge problem. It's been a huge problem though. And this shit been going on, then they should be fucking. I was gonna say something, right? I be saying this shit that I was gonna say. I was gonna say this shit that I always be about to say, right? But then I thought about it, like every time I type this bitch as a comment, I don't never type it no more. But a couple years ago when I used to, this used to be my favorite shit. Bitch need to be put in front of a firing squad. Anytime I used to goddamn type that shit, boy, they goddamn taking it down immediately. Immediately. I'm talking about what immediate, like that must be a trigger. Like, oh boy, that used to be my favorite shit. Boy, bitch need to be put in front of a firing squad. Boy, y'all some fuck niggas. Fucking pedophile. I feel like that's how I feel. Firing squad. Any fuck nigga out here taking advantage of a motherfucking, taking advantage of the children of the youth. Bitch, you need to be firing squad. Need to handle you. A firing squad. Fuck everything else that's possible. Firing squad. I'm talking about fuck the guillotine. Fuck the lynching shit that they did. Fuck all of that. Firing squad. That's just how I feel. That's what I used to be putting on comments, and then they went to flagging my shit immediately. You like gave me a warning, like, hey man, we gonna take your goddamn page from you. You keep on with this fuck. I said, you know what, y'all got
and face justice. You shouldn't want to be ruled and controlled by people that were Epstein clients. Like, I don't know how insane people have become recently, where now they are with a straight face trying to say that Epstein isn't something you should care about. Get over it. That blows my mind. Mila Joy, I suppose, gets her joy from the suffering of children and does so with a big smile on her face. She doesn't care that children were being trafficked and raped by potentially the most powerful people in this country. She doesn't care. She doesn't want them unmasked or thrown in jail. She couldn't care less about that. That's pretty fucking unhinged, Mila. All I can do is cross my fingers and hope and pray that there's not a ton of people with a poisoned, smooth brain like she has. I am hoping there's sensible people out there that are seeing all of this unfold in real time and finally having that come to Jesus moment, that eureka moment of, wow, there's something very, very bad afoot here. But anyway, I'll stop yapping about it for now. I guess we'll see what else comes from Volume 8 here of the Epstein files. Huge hats off to everyone that played a role in helping preserve that initial.
Nah, we finna go to that shit. Hold on. Because I thought he was finna goddamn show the shit. I thought we was finna go through them. Hold on. We just talking about it. Hold on. Let's go through it.
Who was the founder of NAMBLA. As a part of that, you had someone by the name of David Thorstad, who was the founder of NAMBLA. So you had NAMBLA, gay rights, all coming together. The founder of the gay rights movement used to wear a shirt that on the front, he said gay rights for all, equal rights, etc. And on the back, it said NAMBLA walks with me. So he even endorsed NAMBLA, which was the North American Man-Boy Love Association, which is men who love boys. They had a combination and a joint movement with the gay rights movement. In fact, as a part of that culture, you have agreements. This is how it was. If you had a boy that you were, having sexual relations with, 12, 13, 14, 15, you'd have to do a number of things. One, you'd have to promise him protection. Two, you'd have to promise that you would educate him. Three, you'd have to make sure that you would always provide for him, whatever that may be. There were actual terms and agreements when it came to you having sexual relations with a little boy back in ancient Greek and Rome. As men, they would actually tie our hands down, spread our hands.
Get the fuck in Greek and Rome? I'm disgusted. In Greek and Rome. That's why my people in Africa
spread our legs, and they would physically rape us. Slave masters would rape black men in front of his entire family, sometimes in front of the whole plantation. They bring them all out. The bigger the black man, the stronger the black man, the more they would rape them, the more they would buck them, just to make sure that none of them would be inspired to do anything to fight back. Do the same things with the drag queen reading hour, where grown men dress up as women and they read to little children. To give it, they have petitioned to switch pedophilia to give it its own sexual orientation. Like
this is what I was talking about. This shit right here, what he was talking about, how they trying to add the P's to the alphabet, the elemental P, I, elemental P, the I, LBGT, I, whatever, elemental P. What I said. This is what they adding it to.
Lesbian, gay, pedophilia orientation. Hell, we might as well get our own. They have petitioned to switch pedophilia to give it its own sexual orientation, like lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, queer, and straight. And so they're switching it into something called pedosexual. They had a TED Talk recently in 2018.
And that's the main reason they doing all this bullshit with the redacting and all this fuck shit with the Epstein file. They trying to goddamn maneuver that shit and structure that shit to do this bullshit right here. And he been talking about this shit for about 5, 6, 7 years, bro.
Bisexual, transsexual, queer, and straight. And so they're switching it into something called pedosexual. They had a
listen, hold on, let's go back. You put niggas on this shit about 7 years
Hell,
ago.
we might as well get our own. They have petitioned to switch getting their own sexual orientation. Hell, we might as well get our own. They have petitioned to switch pedophilia to give it its own sexual orientation, like lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, queer, and straight. And so they're switching it into something called pedosexual. They had a TED Talk recently in 2018 in Germany, I believe, where a young lady was promoting. She said, "What is pedophilia?" She said, "It's a normal feeling."
According to current research, pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality. No one chooses to be a pedophile. No one can cease being one. The difference between pedophilia and other sexual orientations is that living out this sexual orientation will end in a disaster.
What the fuck?
As a part of that, you had someone.
What the fuck that bitch just said? That's what they trying to go with. That bullshit.
pedophile. No one can cease being one. The difference
You
between
heard what this bullshit this bitch just said? You hear this dumbass shit this bitch just
just
said?
like that is an
Man, that sound like the mother. Boy, look, hold on.
unchangeable
I ain't gonna even
sexual
go there though.
orientation. Just like, for example, an unchangeable.
It's a normal feeling.
According to current research, pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation. Just like, for example, heterosexuality. No one chooses to be a pedophile. No one can cease being one. The difference between pedophilia and other sexual orientations is that living out this sexual orientation will end in a disaster.
As a part of that, you had someone by.
Man, that bitch just sound like she crazy as fuck. Don't that bitch sound like one of them bitches in the goddamn Poltergeist movies or some shit like that? Paranormal Activity, some shit, man. That bitch possessed. That I don't know what the fuck that was. What the fuck that bitch just said? Kid, what up? Man, that's some crazy shit, man. This is some bullshit. What the fuck? But you see what brother said? All right, let's go back to this, man. God damn.
Thing would come from it since it's such a big deal. I was going to wait a bit longer before drooling all over this topic just to see if anything would come from it since it's such a big deal. But I've now very much learned my lesson that there is never going to be anything that comes from anything Epstein related. That's basically how it seems. So I'm sure you've seen by now that with all of those redacted files that they've been farting out, you can actually unredact a lot of them yourself. And you don't even need a double-digit IQ to do it. Here's a quick tutorial that even a Neanderthal can follow along with.
Redacted. So you can go ahead and scroll down till you get to a redacted area. Here's a redacted area right here. Guess what? If you want to look at these files, all you got to do is copy it and paste it into Microsoft Word. And guess what? All the files are unredacted. There it is. So go back to justice.org, find all those files, and start unredacting before they figure out how to stop you.
I've seen only a teensy tiny bit of media coverage on this, not a whole lot of buzz generated from the unredacting techniques here, but from the couple that I've seen, they say things like this: hackers unredact Epstein files.
Scrub Daddy won't scratch your pants, and it won't smell for up to 12 weeks after first use. Now this, yeah!
Welcome to our annual Google Public Sector Summit.
Gemini for Government. It's a new.
All you got to do is copy it. Redacted area right here. Guess what? If you want to look at this, you can go ahead and scroll down till you get to a redacted area. Here's a redacted area right here. Guess what? If you want to look at these files, all you got to do is copy it and paste it into Microsoft Word. And guess what? All the files are unredacted. There it is. So go back to justice.org, find all those files, and start unredacting before they figure out how to stop you.
I've seen only a teensy tiny.
Man, you see how easy that shit was? I said this shit, but I was telling them niggas. You see how easy this shit is? But it's technology. Listen. Now, if the government thought that shit was gonna motherfucking stop motherfuckers from seeing shit, and just that simple hack, you could see everything. It makes you wonder what else in the system is lacking. Like, it's something lacking so phenomenally. But you see how simple that was? Just like they rush some shit, push some shit
Any
out.
bit of
See how
media
simple that
coverage.
was? That's why when new shit
And
come out, you
guess
jump
what?
on it. Like, listen.
Redacted. So you can go ahead and scroll down till you get to a redacted area. Here's a redacted area right here. Guess what? If you want to
Look
look
how
at these
simple
files,
this is.
all you got to do is copy it and paste.
This is some shit a nigga would have found out on accident. This some shit a nigga probably found this shit out on accident.
Paste it into Microsoft Word, and guess what? All the files are unredacted. There it is. So go back to justice.org, find all those files, and start unredacting before they figure out how to stop you.
I've seen only a teensy tiny bit of media coverage on this, not a whole lot of buzz generated from the unredacting techniques here, but from the couple that I've seen, they say things like this: hackers unredact Epstein files. Hackers didn't do it. your fucking grandpappy sitting down in front of his goddamn iPad could do it too. There's no hacking here. It's Control C, Control V. Holy shit. Oh my God, he's like an elite XD hacksaw. Wow. Yeah, it really is that easy. You don't have to have a big brain like Jimmy Neutron for this here. And it doesn't work for all the files, but it works for a good portion of them. And what you will find when you unredact a lot of this is that they very clearly have not complied with the law. They are not following the rules of the redactions, which, mind you, are supposed to be reserved exclusively for victims and minors, that kind of thing. But when you unredact a lot of this information, you are finding information that is not related to a victim, a minor, anything like that at all. There are numerous examples of...
Which is why you're really able to unredact it, because it shouldn't have been redacted at all. It shouldn't have been hidden at all anyway in the first place. So the shit that you're able to, like they said, some of the shit you can't even see that shit at all. You can't do that shit like that. It's probably a different way you got to do that shit. But that simple way for that shit ain't supposed to be fucking covered up, and that shit ain't supposed to be hidden that anyway. It's supposed to be seen. That's why it's able to just copy and paste that bitch somewhere else and it'll be seen. But that other shit was real victims and shit. It's supposed to, that shit ain't even on that damn paper. You feel me? That shit just got that space. It probably ain't even on that paper. But that's all I'm saying.
These improper redactions being applied to these files here. There are more examples of that than there are of me being short. You can find so far.
I could be wrong. It could be some of the other, they probably had some different shit, had a different pro anyway, some updated shit, and some of the other shit probably just, and it probably ain't even the victims. But I bet majority of the shit, the shit that they can't see is really the victims.
Mini. And it's kind of like a lot of crickets in mainstream journalism right now in regards to this unredaction technique a lot of people have employed on TikTok, and even like Asmongold has done it on stream as well. And what they're finding is, yeah, it is inarguable that these redactions are not following the rules. There's like this article here that's written about like the redactions on 184 through 192 that were describing taxes paid by companies incorporated by Epstein properties that were not on the balance sheet. And at the end, it even says it's unclear how property material complies with the redaction standard under the law. An inquiry to the Department of Justice has not yet been answered, and it probably won't be answered because the sad reality of it is law doesn't apply to people at a certain level of power. The law is like simply here for plebeians, it seems, and it's not even subtle. Fucking goofball Kash Patel can go under oath and lie out of his ass out the wazoo till the cows come home with a straight face and a limp dick, talking about how they don't have any credible evidence that Jeffrey Epstein...
I just said that shit about 30 minutes ago. Incompetent. When we were looking at the first one, they just incompetent.
Traffic victims to anyone. So it's just Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell. That's it. If you believe anything else, you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. And now with these files, we have provable evidence that they at least knew of 10 other co-conspirators that apparently they just decided to throw in the garbage can and never pursue. But we have so much evidence to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt he is lying, yet he won't face any perjury charges. He won't be arrested. He'll just keep fucking cruising podcasts like they're glory holes here about how he's doing such a good job and puffing up his chest and shit. None of these people that are just blatantly lying and breaking the law will ever be held accountable here. All of these improper redactions that don't comply with the law, don't comply with the rules here, everyone responsible will not face any repercussions. I'm so confident in this. It's fucking sickening. Nothing's...
No, see. One thing about it, they may not face the consequences through the government that they're a part of, but one thing about it, God, the universe, always has the last word. And motherfuckers know the difference between right and wrong, bro. And if they did some fucked up shit and they know it, the energies of the universe and all knowing knows it too. And it will be dealt with and handled, whether we see it, know about it, or not. Whether if it's in this life or the next one. It's gonna get dealt with.
It's going to happen. And it is so incredibly sad. And not only is nothing going to happen, nothing's going to happen and people are going to cheer for that too. I've already seen the narrative shift to like, who cares about the Epstein files and all these crazy mental gymnastics that downplay the significance of the biggest child sex trafficking operation in our country's history, where there are still unbelievable amounts of people that got away with these heinous crimes, still potentially in the highest levels of government.
One of the biggest. The biggest probably this current day. We'll say that.
Government, and people are just saying, like, doesn't matter. That's not the important stuff. And make no mistake, this wasn't some innocent whoopsie-daisy where they accidentally redacted information that they weren't supposed to, but they were trying their best to be super transparent and comply with the law. This was on purpose. It's by design. This is a cover-up. It's not a conspiracy. It's in front of your face. You can unredact the information yourself, and it doesn't take a lot of technical prowess to do so. You can confirm this yourself. They are trying to protect these pedophiles. They are running defense for evil people that they have knowingly collected all this information on and decided to do nothing with for years. Not just this administration, the last administration too, obviously, but the point is, right now, they're still doing all they can to protect these people. That is unacceptable in a sane society. And anyone who writes that off is like not a big deal.
Unacceptable and downright despicable. Unacceptable and downright despicable. Downright atrociously despicable. I'm sorry, man. That is. We need the Miami Avengers.
Is a fucking lunatic, like beyond pathetic loser worm. Now, if you're wondering,
fuck that. We need the. I don't know the Miami Avengers. We need a collective. We need a collective. We need to create a new collective. A countrywide new collective. Like the Avengers, Justice League, with the X-Men, with the goddamn who else I was thinking about? With everybody, a collective of everybody. What I was thinking about? Power Rangers. A collective of all that shit. You know how you morph like at a Power Ranger, you to morph, come together and morph into that big, collective morph into the Transformers, all that shit. We need the Miami Avengers, the goddamn Tropicana Transformers. We need the motherfucking. We need everybody to come together collectively that's against this fuck shit. Cause what the fuck is y'all talking about?
How this even happened with being able to unredact this yourself is because so many people working in the government are just actually incompetent. I don't mean that like exaggeratory. I mean like they legitimately like diaper wetting, paint chip eating fucking idiots over there. So the likely explanation here is they use the highlighter tool to black out the information, but they didn't actually redact it. So when you copy and paste it, it's
aliens can't even save us right now. Aliens watching this shit. Aliens supposed to been come in. Like they say, you know what? We just gonna pass Earth right now. They got some shit going on, and they just passed us for another 1,000 years. Aliens ain't saving shit. Shit, man. They said Jesus was supposed to come back. Goddamn.
still there. They didn't even actually redact it. That is how bad at their jobs they are. And I've seen a theory floating around that maybe this is on purpose from a whistleblower who was tasked with redacting information but wanted to get into the hands of the American public. So they instead did like the highlighter tool as opposed to redacting it. And I'd be willing to motorboat those titties, play ball with that idea if we hadn't seen so many examples of just pure incompetence at the highest level. I truly just think it's clear that the people.
I fuck with it, man. I fuck with it. I'd be willing to motorboat those titties. Oh shit, that was funny. I
People in these positions are just like actual fedora tipping Reddit twerps, like based on how they shit post on Twitter and everything, and that they legit just can't do their jobs very well. Side note, anyone remember this little golden nugget where they literally rickrolled the Epstein files release, treating the most notorious, infamous child sex trafficker, as well as all of the information in regards to his clients and all of these evil crimes, as a joke? Anyone remember that? I think it's pretty evident that a lot of the people in these positions are actually just fucking dumb. So I'm not willing to believe that this was some kind of internal whistleblower trying to do the right thing. I just think that they are actually fucking lobotomites, just genuinely stupid, and didn't realize that blackout highlighter doesn't actually redact the information. It's wild they can't even do the simplest things correctly, like redact information. You can literally click like 2 buttons in order to do that. And they can't even figure that much out. They are knowingly making a conscious decision to violate the law here in regards to these Epstein file redactions. And even while doing that, they can't even figure out how to redact the information properly. Thus, they get caught with their pants down. They can't even do the cover-up correctly. And still, even though their whole ass is out, goat seed, on full display for everyone, every single human.
Listen, I'm not gonna say that they didn't know how to do it correctly. If this was an error, it could have been a knowingly made error from an individual like us against this bullshit just as much as we are. They say, you know what? They got me in charge of doing this bullshit. They got me fucked up. I don't even like this shit. I can see this fuck shit, man. Somebody else gonna be able to. I'm gonna make sure somebody else gonna be able to see it. But I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna do my job, what they asked me to do, because I need the money. I gotta support my family and shit. But it's gonna be a motherfucker out there that's gonna figure this shit out. That they could do something. And I'm gonna be like, alright, oh shit, my fault, whatever. But he did his part in making the code crackable and accessible at the at the most simplest level possible for the people like us that's against this shit, just like they may be. So I want to commend that individual, whoever those individuals may be. It may be a numerous individuals involved. I want to commend those individuals for their part in fucking up. However, if it was purposely or even not purposely, either way, maybe they probably just ain't had no clue about shit. Just try to get the shit done quick. Maybe they was hoping motherfuckers on the internet would do their internet shit as they did. So either way, I want to commend that individual, those individuals, whoever may have been involved with the fucking up of the redaction. So real niggas like myself could get the information necessary that they've been trying to hide. And figure it out. I want to commend those. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to y'all.
Being on a planet that wants to download the files and unredact it themselves, they can see that they broke the law by redacting things that aren't minors and aren't victims. Even this being 100% confirmed will still probably not lead to a single person being fired.
What make it so bad? That individual that may have did it could have even hinted to someone like, "Hey, man, it's redacted," but you know, technology is crazy. It might be a way that you can see it. It might. You never know. It might be a way that you can see it, man. I don't know. They might have just been talking about it. They don't even know they had nothing to do it. It might be a way you can see it. I don't know. You want to see it? You can try this. Probably told somebody to try this.
Or a single.
Yeah, man, go ahead and do what you're gonna do with the video. Yeah, you should tell everybody. You'll get a whole bunch of money off of YouTube with this video.
individual in a higher level of
Hey,
power
man,
here,
that shit
even
is
facing
fucked.
some
I'm
finger
telling you,
wagging.
bro.
It's just
I don't know
that bad right now.
with my mind,
They can do anything they want with complete immunity, and it's just so outrageous. It's infuriating. I had to yap about this a bit because I've now learned that there won't be anything that comes from it, so might as well blabber about it now.
Oh, you ain't gonna show nothing. You just talk about this shit. He just talk. Where the fuck the shit at? I don't want to hear you talk about shit no more, guy. Where the shit at? They might be scrubbing this bitch from YouTube. They might be scrubbing this bitch, dog. Cause I'm gonna tell you, bro. One thing about the government, they gonna scrub YouTube, Google, Alphabet. Alphabet is what the fuck the shit is traded under. Anything under Alphabet, boy, the government gonna scrub that bitch. I guarantee you, boy. Alphabet, boy, they gonna scrub that bitch. Alphabet, Facebook, them bitches all aligned, bro. I'm telling you, the government run all that shit. They gonna scrub this bitch. They ain't gonna let that shit. They gonna let that shit get as far as it's gonna go. But you know where that shit at though? Right here on goddamn Instagram. These niggas on Instagram don't give a damn. Well, let's go to my dog page that I said I was looking at this shit on in the first place. Where that nigga at? I don't even know the nigga name, man. But he gonna pop up. His ass is known to pop up. His ass is known to pop up. Where he at? We finna get to it. What is nigga at, man? This photo was removed from the Epstein files. FBI didn't want us to see this photo. It said FBI didn't wanted us. Didn't wanted us to see. But anyway, this is some fucked up shit. I don't like how this nigga got his hand on her neck like that. That's one thing. That's the first thing I don't like. That's the first thing I don't like. Jeffrey Epstein files. Why the fuck do he have his hand on that little girl neck like that? For the like, Jeffrey Epstein files was being released, and why people are questioning it. It recently was released. Epstein-related documents and photos have been brought renewed attention to the powerful network that surrounded Jeffrey Epstein for decades. These files include court records, flight logs, contact lists, and photographs from social events involving politicians, celebrities, billionaires, and royalty. It's important to be clear, appearing in Epstein files or photos does not automatically mean someone committed a crime. Many of these images lack context, dates, or explanations. However, their release has raised serious public questions about who had access to Epstein, how close the relationships were, and why some material remains redacted or missing. Well-known figures whose names or images appear in Epstein-related records include Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Naomi Campbell, Kevin Spacey, Chris Tucker, Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Richard Branson, Barack, Hud Barack, and others. And some are shown in photos at social events, others appear in flight logs or contact lists. A photo involving Donald Trump, Melania Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell briefly disappeared from an official database and was later restored, fueling debate over transparency and the selective disclosure. Trump has stated that his interactions with Epstein were social and limited. No criminal charges have been brought against him in relation to Epstein. The controversy isn't about names, it's about the redaction, missing files, and accountability. Lawmakers, journalists, and survivors continue to ask why certain documents were removed, why others are heavily censored, and whether the full truth about Epstein's connections has ever been made public. The Epstein files remind the world that power, wealth, and influence can shield people from scrutiny and that transparency matters, especially when the crimes against the minors are involved. The story is still unfolding. I still don't like the way this cracker got his hands on this little baby neck, bro. I can't, bruh. Like, why? I don't like. I'm not. Bruh. Bruh. Dog. I feel so. I feel bad for that little girl. I feel bad for them kids, bro. I feel bad for them jits that went through that shit, bro. Boy, firing squad. Motherfucking firing squad, nigga. Alright. Despicable individuals, bro. Just a bunch of fucked up ass people, bro. It's just a bunch of fucked up ass people. Just a bunch of fucked up ass individuals, bro. Why the That shit is funny.
I was just able to recover some of the redactions to Trump's Epstein files, and you won't believe what I just found. The Trump DOJ screwed up some of the redactions so bad that you can recover them. And I did so simply by copying and pasting the text. When I did, this is what was there. This is 100% proof that Trump tried to cover up the existence of other participants in Epstein's crimes. It says right here that they paid large sums of money to participant witnesses in order to keep them quiet, as well as their attorney's fees. This means that Trump tried to hide the fact that there's other participants and other attorneys who know about it, as well as those who helped Epstein release damaging stories and destroy evidence. This is the biggest cover-up in American history. I was just able to recover some of the redactions to Trump's Epstein files, and you won't believe what I just found. The Trump DOJ screwed up some of the redactions so bad that you can recover them. And I did so simply by copying and pasting the text. When I did, this is what was there. This is 100% proof that Trump tried to cover up the existence of other participants in Epstein's crimes. It says right here that they paid large sums of money to participant witnesses in order to keep them quiet, as well as their attorney's fees. This means that Trump tried to hide the fact that there's other participants and other attorneys who know about it, as well as those who helped Epstein release damaging stories and destroy evidence. This is the biggest cover-up in American history. I was just able to recover some of the redactions to Trump's Epstein files, and you won't believe what I just found. The Trump DOJ screwed up some of the redactions so bad that you can recover them. And I did so simply by copying and pasting the text. When I did, this is what was there. This is
the biggest cover-up.
100% proof that Trump tried to cover up the existence of other participants in Epstein's crimes. It says right here that they paid large sums of money to participant witnesses in order to keep them quiet, as well as their attorney's fees. This means that Trump tried to hide the fact that there's other participants and other attorneys who know about it, as well as those who helped Epstein release damaging stories and destroy evidence. This is the biggest cover-up in American history. I was just able to recover some of the redactions to Trump's Epstein file.
We have some major news right now. The White House is furious this evening as the Wall Street Journal is set to be publishing a bombshell report connecting Donald Trump to Jeffrey Epstein. It's gotten so bad that according to Oliver Darcy, who first reported this, Donald Trump himself personally called the editor-in-chief of the Wall Street Journal to voice his concerns and objections of the report. Now, we don't know what the report is, and what we don't know is if Donald Trump went to Rupert Murdoch, who owns the Journal, to voice his concerns to Murdoch, and whether or not the Wall Street Journal will continue.
Shit, I know the formatting trick. There's a copy and paste that bitch.
So I fact-checked whether it's true that some of the Epstein files were not properly redacted using a redact tool like Adobe Acrobat Pro's redact tool, and instead just covered the black box, which means you can highlight, copy, and paste the text. Like if I go here, copy and paste the text, and I paste it over here, you can see the hidden text. So I fact checked whether it's true that some.
I feel like the black square there. 1, 2, 3. It could be DJT. You're right. I don't know. I feel like the black square there.
Special Redaction Project. The FBI quietly poured roughly $1 million into overtime hours to scrub and redact the Epstein files. And niggas wonder why Donald Trump wanted to give all that extra motherfucking money to motherfuckers making overtime. Cause bitch, he put their ass to work. Bitch, he like, man, look, I got something for y'all, man. Y'all do all that overtime. Look, y'all gonna get that back in y'all taxes. Don't even worry about it. We gonna take that shit, but you gonna get it back on your tax return. Man, what? That shit crazy. That shit, wow. Before and after seeing the Epstein files. Donald Trump is a pedophile. Trump raped children with Jeffrey Epstein. It's documented. This administration is actively protecting pedophiles. 16 documents were removed overnight. We will take that as an administration of guilt, an admission of guilt. And the law is that Trump administration must release all files unredacted. 119 pages were completely redacted. At this point, we're not getting the Epstein files. We're getting the Trump files. Oh, this is really bad. Epstein introduced Trump to a 14-year-old girl, and they joked about if she was a good one. Things just got a little worse for Trump. And can we zoom in on this? Huh. What does that mean? How far? Let me know. Let's see that shit. Fuck, man. Let me see what I want to see. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. I want to see this. Let's see this. Trump initiated social contact with the plaintiff at 4 different parties on the 4th and the final sexual encounter with defendant Trump. Defendant Trump tied plaintiff to a bed, exposed himself to plaintiff, and then proceeded to forcefully rape plaintiff. During the course of this savage sexual attack, plaintiff loudly pleaded with defendant Trump to stop, but with no effect. Defendant Trump responded to plaintiff's pleas by violently striking plaintiff in the face with an open hand and screaming that he would do whatever he wanted. Exhibits A and Exhibit A. So they got an exhibit. So they probably got some proof, like some photo or something. Like, man, this nigga a fuck nigga. Who when they posted, man, they posted, man, what? Remember when they had that assassination attempt? And it was like, how the fuck he missed? Like, how the fuck he missed? Cause dying like that, it'd have been too good for it. It's too easy. That's the easy way out for him. No, he gotta motherfucking suffer. This bitch gotta suffer.
I'm a hustler on a mission, grinding for that spot, a brand new pot to piss in. Trying to school my partners, I don't think they pay attention. I'm sticking to my vision, on the road to the riches. Every single day, I'm a hustler on a mission, trying to get 100 M's, nigga, I ain't kidding. I'm on a mission, 24/7.